Welcome to my channel. Make sure you subscribe, like and comment.
Hello, guys. Welcome once again. We are finally officially in the last episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville for this season, and we're going to talk about the part three reunion, the finale. But before we go ahead and talk about it, like we always do in every episode, how would you rate this finale episode of the reunion?
I'm gonna have to give it like maybe a 4.7 simply because um it really touched me at the end with Kiki's tribute. You know, that
Yeah.
that really touched me. Because I don't think that I've seen in past um reality TV shows that they ever done a tribute. Matter of fact, I don't even know if anybody passed away while everybody was taping before. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
taking.
saying? Yeah, so I
Yeah,
just thought that was real special. It
to
touched
me, I
me.
had I had a reality TV show that I was watching at one time. I think
Hmm.
it was Real Housewives of what's no is in South Africa. The state is in South Africa. I forgotten. Is it not Durban? I've actually forgotten the particular place in South Africa, a particular city in South Africa. So they had a Real Housewives there, and I watch all Real Housewives, including the ones that are in Africa. So they
Okay.
were doing it then, and one of the ladies that was one of the prominent cast members passed
Hmm.
away. The show had to go on hiatus for like 2 years. Right now, we don't even know. Like
Uh,
they came back, but it was not like after that 2 years break, it didn't it wasn't giving that same energy
right.
that
Mm,
it was given from that time. But hers is different. This is different because she was a main cast member. Kiki was never like a main cast member of the show. But I, like you said, that was the only thing for me in the episode that gave me, okay, fine, this episode is worth it, because from the beginning to the end was rubbish, was boring, it was rushed.
hmm.
Yeah, a lot of things were rushed, a lot of things I expected them to dive more into. It seems like we were rushing towards to we were rushing it, and it did not make sense to me. And for me, I did not enjoy the episode. I'm gonna give it a 2/10. I
Okay.
did not enjoy the episode for one bit. Normally, I do, to show you how much I did not enjoy the episode. Normally, I do like take clips, like important part of the clips of the episode, and post on social media. I did not
Mm,
post because I kept on asking myself, I was like, go ahead and post, go ahead and post. I kept on asking myself, what the fuck will I post? Because there was nothing, like I said, okay, there's this thing that I said, okay, and I don't want to post about Kiki with already on my social media. I've already talked about Kiki's death. It's been a while now, so there was no need
right.
about me talking about it again and posting it. So that's the reason why I didn't post anything, because for me it was only about the Kiki stuff that made sense. They were like, we're gonna bring in a special guest. Everybody was thinking it was somebody important, and it brought me. I'm not saying that she's not important. She was in the season, Laura, right? But
Right.
the way they made it look as if like one super is so important, like one guest that would shake us off, and it was just Tommy. And I told you last week that I felt it was Tommy,
Right.
because of the bag. So it didn't give like this special guest did not even give, like it didn't give nothing. So for me, the episode was in short. I didn't just want to give it a 0 because of Kiki. For me,
Right. Right.
it,
I
it,
mean,
it,
I was kind of curious though to find out from Stormy's take the reason why she didn't continue with the show, and it was for her mental health and her physical
but
being.
she's going to be coming. Like, There's rumors on the street she's filming with the new, since Melody, the day Melody announced that she was no longer um going to be on Love and Marriage, and she started filming. She was in Trisha's birthday filming. So it's see, I know she said it was for her mental health. It is giving, I don't want to be in the same, like, it's given when I saw that she was filming with the cast members, immediately Melody said she was no longer gonna be on the show. It was giving I didn't just want to be in the same show with Melody, because it seems like Melody's fans are very big. Even if I have a successful business, I will not be in Melody, will still be overshadowing me. That's what it was giving to me. That yes, Melody's business is not as big as Stormy's business. Stormy's business is big, but as far as two of them are on that same platform, she will never supersede Melody. I don't know whether you get what I mean.
Yeah, I do. You have two bosses sitting up there, two big
Uh-huh.
moguls, and they're really like saying, "Hey, I'm the big rooster here." You know what I'm saying? I'm the big chick,
Yeah.
And I understand you said that both of them feel a certain way, but look, I'm the type of person, the type of woman, I want us all to win because we all should be able to eat. That's our right. Just like
Uh-huh.
we all should be able to exist and breathe, you know?
Yeah.
So I believe in, hey, everybody should get a piece of the pie. There's enough to go
Uh-huh.
around. There's enough to go around.
Yeah.
So all
It,
this back and forth and attitude-ish and, you know, uh, my brand's bigger than your brand. And, I don't understand it. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying?
yes.
I've never been that type of person who would be jealous of somebody getting something better than me. If anything, I'm gonna be saying, "Hey,
Uh-huh.
how did you do that?" you know,
Uh-huh.
let me know what's going on.
I when I saw that she was filming, I said I'm disappointed, because she made it feel as if she was so busy, her business was doing that good, and she didn't have time to film. But you're now immediately Melody announced that she was no longer gonna be on the show, you started filming. It paints a different picture. I don't know whether you get what I mean.
So what you're saying now is Stormy saying she might come back.
She's filming with them, right? Because right now they are filming for the next season.
Okay.
Yeah, right now filming is going on for the
Okay.
next season. So
Okay.
she's filming with them.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, hey, everybody can't stand in the sun. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to
Yeah.
sit back, you know. So, I mean, why not? If Melody is not there, you know what I'm saying? What's going to be the next best thing
Um,
to kind of carry, maybe, possibly carry the
think
show?
you think it's Stormy?
Well, I mean, come on, look at her family dynamic. She got a cool husband. She has a storyline. She doesn't have to try and make up a storyline. She has a storyline. She's a
But the
business
problem
mogul.
now, the
Okay,
problem now is not about now. The problem I have is not about having the storylines. Because
right,
if we're being truthful, everybody on that cast member has a storyline.
right.
Every single person. If you look about how chaotic their life is, gossip on the streets, all of them have a story. Now, the problem I have with them is that, do they transfer it to the show? We only see it outside the show, like on social media, gossips, you know,
Mhm.
the DUI, they didn't want to talk about it. It had to be forced out from um it had to be forced out by Melody for them to talk about it. They didn't even talk about the court case that he has with some content creators. They didn't talk about that. There are a lot of things I know that is going on within those cast members that I never saw on this season
Mm.
of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So it's not about you have a storyline. Tisha and Marcel has storylines. They have so many storylines, but the problem now is who will now come and say, okay, now, because Melody was a scapegoat. Before,
Right.
Melody was a scapegoat. She brought her story out. Her story was used in short till today, even to this reunion. Her story is still being told,
Right.
retold, and retold. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, everybody has seen how that played out, because it's as much as it made Melody was loved and beloved, it gave people, it made her so vulnerable that a lot of people now had, they want to talk about Melody in a certain way. I saw somebody recently, a content creator on YouTube, the day before Melody announced, okay, 2 days before Melody announced, before she announced that she was no longer going to be on Lower Marriage Huntsville, she posted on her Instagram like something like this thing, like loading, a picture of something that was loading and said loading. So a lot of people were speculating that what's going on, why is she loading? And a lot of people were speculating that, okay, it was most people that love Melody were like, she's trying to announce that, they feel like she's trying to announce that she's no longer going to be on the show. Why this particular content creator was on YouTube being like, yeah, Melody is telling her fans to activate. Melody wants to bring down a lot of YouTubers. She's trying to do this. And I'm like, this is what Melody bringing her story forth made her vulnerable to a lot of people having opinions, a lot of people
Right.
thinking they know her, and
Mm.
kind of misjudging and judging and scrutinizing her in every decision. If she smiles, they scrutinize her smile. If she doesn't smile, they scrutinize it. If she laughs, it's a problem. She doesn't laugh, it's a problem. She makes a comment, it's a problem. Most of the comments she has made on the show, every other person has made it, but they still allow them go scot-free. But once Melody makes that same statement, it becomes, oh, yeah, this is a big thing that has happened. So her saying it, they've seen that it has made her vulnerable, right? There's a lot of storylines that did not come on stream. And I felt like the reason why Stormy 2 did not also decide to continue on the show is because, she had a lawsuit where, her product, the person that was working for her kind of sued her. And it seems like the guy was truthful in what he was saying. And she has to pay the guys millions of dollars now. And I feel like she was trying to not allow that trying to be forced on the show, because I'm sure that the producers would try to force someone to ask the question about the case. And she was trying not to let that be inside the show. And that's why she kind of removed herself. And even in the reunion, it was not asked. I expected them to ask those questions. Those were the things I expected asked. I feel like even Carlos himself, when it comes to the other cast members, he's kind of lenient in their storylines. But when it comes to Melody, he goes all out in those things. So for me, the reason why I don't like, when as now Melody has left, I'm just like, okay, let's see how next season will be. I'm gonna judge. I'm not gonna be amongst people that will say I'm not gonna watch the show again, because a lot of people have been like, you're not gonna watch the show again. I'm gonna fully watch the show next season. I'm gonna give it next season. I'm gonna see how it's gonna be. I'm gonna see who is gonna sacrifice themselves and be like, okay, now I'm gonna say my story. Because let's be truthful, Letitia and Marcel never had any storyline this season, except for that fight they had with Martell.
Right.
All through this reunion, they were quiet. No question being asked to them. They were just there as extras. Yeah, there was no difference between them and um extras. They if not because they are main cast members, they had nothing. They didn't have anything to talk about on this reunion except for the Martell thing. And then when Destiny, like, I feel like you don't have any storyline. Then the only DUI that Melody tried to bring out for Kimmy and
Maurice.
Maurice, they tried to shut it down immediately. So the problem is, it's not about who Melody leaving the show. I believe that I don't believe there's anybody that's an island, right? I believe that once one person goes for greater things, because I know she's going to do greater things wherever she's going to, I believe there's somebody out there that will come and replace that person. Now, the problem now I have is, who is this person that will come and replace this person? Who would come and replace? Who would come and say, okay, I would be the scapegoat. I would be the person that you guys should stab, dagger me up, kill me, and I will take it. Who is that person? Because I don't see anybody. Every one of them is trying to look like I'm the good guy. I'm the one that doesn't like insulting people. I'm the one that doesn't like making snacking comments. I'm the one that doesn't like, everybody is trying to be the good guy and forget that you can't always be a good guy. Even me, I know that I can't always be a good guy. Yeah. So that's my own problem now. Who is going to, as much as I know that undeniable, all of them have storylines to tell. All of fucking them. Even to the people that I don't like. I know they have storyline. Now, the only thing that everybody is just saying is that nobody is out there trying to bring forth the storylines. Nobody.
Mm. Yeah, well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see. If Stormy is, you said she's taping, we'll see if she can carry that torch, fill those shoes, you know, because everybody loved Melody because she was humanized, everybody seen themselves in her shoes or have not already been in those shoes. You know what I'm saying? And to be on national TV with your shit right there, your dirty laundry, everything, all your family secrets, everything, just right there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I look at her like the bounce back was beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, hell, as women, we got to learn how to bounce back because
And
sometimes,
she did that.
yeah, sometimes, you got other people, children, parents, siblings, depending on your bounce back, your strength.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was real, and for her to still have to go through it, that it's almost like being around in-laws that you got to take the
Yeah.
kids around, and they talk about you in secret or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You
Mm-hmm.
do it because
Mm-hmm.
you want your kids to know the other side, but they don't really want to invite you, but they invite you because of the kids, something like that, so yeah, life is tough, life is hard, and I'm just glad it was an example on national TV that shows
Yeah.
how a black woman can be
Yeah.
drugged.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that she thought when she started, like, oh, I got a strong marriage.
Yeah.
My business is going good. I'm living good. My kids is good. We good. We about to do the show. And, then
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden, everything just crumbles. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, what the hell? Do I keep taping or do I say, y'all get the hell up out my house?
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
she just said, hey, let the cameras roll, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I commend her, because how many women would have cowered or just
I'm
said,
telling you.
yeah, or just
I,
said,
I,
hey, that my man never
yeah.
did that. That's not his baby. And wait till the DNA come. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do, yeah,
Yeah.
you can't break this marriage. And then after they find out, they
Exactly.
stay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She picked the latter. She was like, nope, I'm gone.
Mm-hmm. And
I'm done.
most people disliked her for saying, okay, the first time she said, okay, let's stay and work on it. They then had sugar mama, right?
Mhm.
Then
Right.
after that, she found out that he got the other lady pregnant and was like, you know what, I'm done, I'm dusted. A lot of people hate her because she decided that she was done and dusted at that moment. So
But
people still think she could have still fought more, or that's why most people dislike her. Like, why did she
but
leave?
but how would they have felt if it was them? And
You
every
don't,
time, but I'm saying every time he came to kiss you, you'd be thinking, was he just kissing
yeah,
her? Where his lips been? Like
some
I
people,
wouldn't want
right?
to. I wouldn't want to sleep with that person. I wouldn't want that person touching me.
So some people, right? They don't know. They nobody knows what's how when you wear a shoe, where it's spinning you. You can wear your shoe and still dance and jump up the air and everything. Nobody's gonna find out where it's hurting you until you alone are in your room and you pull off the shoe and you're crying in pains from the heart of the shoe. So nobody knows. So so many people, they just look at it from the outside. Okay, your dress is looking amazing with your shoe looking on point and you're dancing and you're happy. They think that is it. But you by yourself indoors, you then show the pain and hurt you really, really do feeling. So a lot of people don't know, and I look at it that I always tell people, and when these melodies things arguments starts coming, I always say, I hope that 1/3 of what happens to her doesn't happen to all of you, because most of us will not be able to take 1/3. We've seen people kill their spouse for just little.
Yeah, very true.
We've seen You've seen people go bizarre, like they've gone mad. Just they've not even gone. No, I'm not even talking about the full scope, just a little bit of it.
Right, right.
I, and they've gone. They killed their spouse. They plotted killing their spouse. We've seen it played out.
Oh yeah.
So is she survived? She did not have a murder thought in her head. She did not do anything stupid, and she's still looking amazing. She has grown. She's happy. And she said in this reunion that she has a boyfriend.
Yeah, I heard that. I
That
heard
was
that.
that wasn't surprising because I know Melody is very beautiful and a lot of guys want her. But I was like, why didn't you show him on the show? But I understood. I'm one person that's always said that I don't want Melody should bring any man on the show. I've always been that one person. I've been amongst those people that have been like, I don't want Melody to bring her man on this show until probably if she remarries. But the way I'm looking at Martell, will Martell allow her to remarry?
I don't think he would have a choice if she went off
No,
somewhere and
it's
got
not like no,
married.
no, no. He's not gonna have a choice. Of course, he's not gonna have a choice. But I'm pretty sure that he's gonna frustrate, like try to put a frustration.
Oh,
Look
of
at the way
course.
when we're watching the reunion, the way when she said, "I have a boyfriend," I don't know. The way the way he wasn't happy to hear that part. He was
No.
like he thought that Melody was going to bring her boyfriend. I think he's trying. Maybe he has heard from the wind that Melody does have somebody that she's dating, and maybe he has been trying to find out who that person is.
Hmm.
Um, and he hasn't gotten the access to find out who that person is. So he was thinking maybe Melody was going to introduce the boyfriend. And I'm like, no, to this pack of wolves, no,
Yeah.
no.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't
And
have either. I mean, she already displayed her entire marriage. The
mhm,
good, the bad, and the ugly
yeah,
on TV. No, I wouldn't
on
be.
TV, yeah.
No, I wouldn't be bringing
It's
my.
enough. She has tried.
Yeah. I wouldn't be doing it again.
No, even if she wants to do that, I would advise maybe on another show, not this Love and Marriage, especially not with these cast members.
Mhm.
No. And I don't know whether you did see that, I told you during last week's when we were reviewing last week's episode, that there was another episode that dropped on Philo. I don't know whether you were able to get that.
No,
Oh,
I
it
didn't get a
was
chance
totally
to.
different from the episode that was on OWN.
Oh, okay.
Total. When I say total, it was like it cost a huge. Immediately we ended the live, I forgot. I was telling myself I was going to send you the link on during the week where I
Mhm.
posted it. I was trying to tell. I totally forgot to send you the link.
Oh,
There
okay.
was this whole ass new episode that wasn't on OWN. It was on Philo and some other social and on some other apps, and
Wow.
they literally put the grooming stuff.
Mm,
And it was so when I say it was one of the most disgusting things I have ever watched,
really?
um, it was Destiny literally. Maybe I'm gonna send it to you when we're done with this live. It was Destiny kind of saying that Melody kind of groomed her. And if you hear the definition of what she meant as grooming, apparently when they were on the show, I think this was seasons back. I think maybe season 4 or so.
Hmm.
Melody, the Scots and Melody and Martell, they were in a limo and they were playing adult game. Apparently, maybe Martell said something to Letitia that she didn't like. Then she went to complain to Destiny, who is Martell's friend.
Right.
And um then she kind of told Destiny that Melody sent an inappropriate text message to Masao, which Destiny came on this reunion and was like, yeah, you sent an inappropriate message to Masao. Everybody was shocked. Even Masao himself was shocked, like, what inappropriate message? Then Melody now asked Letitia, what inappropriate message? And if you, I laughed. I said, people were talking about the fact that Destiny was the problem. And I will tell you, for all those people that are watching, I would say that Letitia was the problem, because how would you tell a friend of yours that has an animosity with Melody that she sent an inappropriate text to your husband? Of course, you guys are going to gossip about it, right? You guys are going to cuss out Melody together.
Right.
Apparently, she didn't really tell Destiny she didn't tell Destiny the message itself. She only said that Melody sent Masawa inappropriate message, just for them to now talk about it. She was embarrassed because she never expected that Destiny was going to say that. Then she had to say what the inappropriate message is. Do you know what the inappropriate message was? Masawa sent Melody a message. So Masawa was the first one to send the message saying that was then that 4 years ago, then that 4 seasons ago, when they were still people were trying to still beg Melody to Martell to work on the marriage. Masao sent a message to Melody like, I'm rooting for you guys, to overcome all these blah, 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 blah stuff. Then Melody replied and said, rooting for me and Martell, or are you rooting for me alone? That is the inappropriate message.
Oh, God.
That Melody said, rooting for me and Martell, or are you rooting for me alone? And Melody, and when she said that was the inappropriate message, Melody looked at her and was like, girl, you got to be serious. What is inappropriate there? That I told your husband that don't, because for me, when they read the message, do you know what it meant to me? Don't root for me and Martell, root for me alone.
Right.
And she even said it there. She was like, if that was the message I sent, because I have forgotten about it, if that was the message I sent, that means at that time I wasn't fucking with Martell. And I was tired of everybody trying to tell me to be or try to work things with Martell. So that was it. So how inappropriate? She not said, well, it's your feeling. If you feel like that was inappropriate, that's your feeling. You are allowed to feel that. But for me, I kept on thinking, how does that count as inappropriate?
I guess that she felt that was Melody's way of trying to say, hey, I'm going to be single. I'm going to put the S in single.
Then that is your own insecurities.
Well, of course, but I guess she felt that, hey, she's going to be single and that now she's going after my dude, I mean, some women
Man.
feel like that when
When,
women get divorced.
when Destiny heard that was even Destiny, when she heard that was an inappropriate message, she did not even know what to say again, because she too looked like a useless person, because she was like, is that the facial expression is like giving like, is that the inappropriate message? Why did I make a fool of myself right now for this? This is not an inappropriate message. This is a message you can send to anybody. It's
Right.
very appropriate. There's no any other meaning to it.
Yeah.
And it only showed me the dynamics of that group. Letitia went telling a person that is not in good terms with Melody that Melody sent inappropriate. I'm pretty sure they've talked about that topic. They've gossiped about it. They've tossed that Melody. Meanwhile, that was the message. So it gave me the kind of dynamics that group was. And the fact that it talks about the grooming stuff, the grooming thing again that they're talking about is that Letitia went to go and tell her that Martell said something inappropriate during the adult game. And we know how adult games go. Sometimes it can become overly excessive. They were playing an adult game. And she didn't like what Martell said. And she told Destiny, what they were doing. And I'm like, why would you? Even Kimmy was even asking Destiny, you were not there. How did you get all this info? It was just me, Melody, and Latisha and our husbands. How did you get the info? Then Latisha was like, yes, I told her. And I'm like, how? Who plays an adult game with a couple and go tells another person? If not that you
Destiny.
have beef with them, then Destiny came and was talking, and that is because according to her, Melody and Martell did some kind of, things in the limousine. I was like, why did you do it in front of Kimmy? And I'm like, they were playing adult games. Like, they're adult. There was no kids there. Like that's their game. That's their life. I don't care. It's their life. And you're like,
Oh,
and she now said because they did it in the presence of Kimmy and Latisha, that is grooming. Everybody was at that moment looking like, how is that grooming? She then Mandy had to ask Marcel, did I try to get you to have something with me? She looked at Maurice, did I try to get you to get something to me? All of them were like, no. Even the wife was like, no, that they've not prepositioned any of each other to get anything with them. And like, I was like, these people be so. And the fact that when she talked about the grooming, she was like, Melody invited me to her house, I stayed over and I felt uncomfortable. I'm like, you went to somebody's house and you felt uncomfortable and you kept on going there. Make it make sense.
why didn't she just leave?
Exactly. And apparently, this particular time she made as an excuse, as an example, she came with them, the Fletchers. They were having a game 9 and they were playing, having fun. Then the Fletchers were, when it came time to leave, the Fletchers were leaving. And they were like, Destiny, aren't you going? She said no, she was going to stay. She was the one that wanted to stay. Imagine you wanting to stay in someone that was trying to groom you.
Oh my
And
God.
the fact that I'm telling you, when you watch this episode, you will find every one of them very disgustful.
Well,
The
okay, let's say if that was the case, then why would you constantly hang around Martell?
that was my question. I see that's not even the bad part. The fact that she was calling Melody and Martell that they were trying to groom her to have a threesome, and the fact is that she said that they never said it to her, but they always had discussions. Do you know that just because Martell wanted to bring down Melody, Martell was accepting that he too was a groomer just because he wanted to bring down Melody.
Mm.
Martell was accepting the grooming charge
Oh wow.
just because he wanted to bring down Melody. And I laughed because there and there they were exposed. Immediately Latisha was like, no, it was Martell that was bringing up the particular thing she was talking about. Melody said, and it was Martell that said it, not Melody. And
Mm.
so it was exposed, but it was so giving. I just want to get something against you. I just want to get something that will stick to you. And since last week, Destiny was getting it. Like if you think Destiny was hated a little bit last week, ooh, after that episode dropped,
Uh-huh.
the
Mm.
hate on Destiny was so much. I even did a video, and I think in that video, I did a short video on it, and I cussed that out so badly because like I said, when you watch the video, you really cuss out Destiny. It was an eyesore to watch.
Wow.
It was really an eyesore, like a very big eyesore to watch because looking at somebody, it's like when I'm with my girlfriends, I say some kind of funny things like we have sex talks, we have those kind of things. So does it mean that if later on we're not together, you will now use the sex talks that we have against me? That's what it was giving. Like they were friends at one time and they were very free with each other to have discussions. And now those things I discussed with you are now using it against me. Those kind of
Mm.
friends, like I even titled my videos, I even said in my video, who needs enemies when you have friends like Martell and Destiny? You don't need enemies.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need
Wow.
enemies in your life when you have Destiny and Martell. But that's, by the way, I find that I've already talked 30 minutes and we've not talked about this episode. That's how boring the episode was. But let's quickly just talk about one of the things that happened in this episode, the Martell, Tricia, and because that was like a big moment, and Tricia, Ken, and Marques.
Mm-hmm.
Now we continued in the this thing. When I said Martell is a very disrespectful person and he doesn't take correction and he doesn't believe that it's ever wrong. That's see when you have that problem, your problem is I don't think you ever move forward in life. When you always think that you are always right, that's a very big red flag. And even when they were trying to tell him that guy, that thing you said about, oh, I slept with her, even if it's a joke, people take it serious. People watch reality TV show, people will take it like, oh, yeah, just because he said it once, I believe that happened. And that is true, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the fact that when they brought Marques on the stage and he was talking about his children, you know what? I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna say it across the table. Trish, Ken, and Marquis, none of them are good for those kids. I'm not gonna lie. Um, because we have Ken, he looks like a problematic person. We have Trish that can lie, like her lies can I have never seen somebody on a reality TV show that lies like Trish. I have not come across that person. Then we have Marquis that is using the Bible and God to cover for his lack of being a father, saying that he's a father because, with God and well, blah, 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 blah. You giving birth to a child doesn't make you a good father. You being there are some fathers that are just sperm donors and nothing else. And nothing else. So he's saying that it kind of the thing kind of touched me because I go through that kind of thing where my dad is alive well and everything, but he's not like really really a father in my life. I can't really say that he's a father figure in my life. I can't point him as somebody that has stood as a father figure in my life in any shape or form. And for Marquis to sit on that stage and be like, because of my religion, the Bible and God and I'm like, please, I hate people that try to use religion to cover up for their bullshit. Like that part really pissed me off. I don't know. Really, you can talk all you want to talk because me, it pissed me off and I don't want to, talk about it too much to be like to get pissed over that nonsense. So if you have anything to talk about the situation of the children when Marquise and Ken and Trish were arguing it, you
Well,
can give your opinion.
well, yeah. I just think that it's an unfortunate thing for the kids to have to be in. Because they're old enough to see like live action, feeling the vibes in the room. Uh, they're capable of pulling stuff up on the internet, watching the show
Yeah.
later themselves, hearing what their friends got to say about it, or their friends' mamas done said to their kids that the kids done said to them. I mean, I'm pretty sure they go through a lot, you know, but I just feel that there isn't any reason why you shouldn't be in your kid's life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not unless you're known to abuse the kids, or you know, sexually abuse the kids, physically abuse the kids, mentally abuse. And you know what I'm saying? I understand that, but as far as being a parent, you know, I don't understand why you're not in the kid's life, why you're not sending any type of financial anything. Kids grow, they eat. You know what I'm saying? And I do understand, there's a lot of women that get whatever child support and they go get their hair done and their nails done, or, they're at the clubs popping bottles. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's women like that. You know what I'm saying? But then there's the ones who what you're given really isn't enough. So they're out there working two, possibly three jobs trying to hold everything together. But what I'm saying is, I just don't see why Marquez felt the need to not financially, support his kids. I mean, he was out there wherever he was eating, you know, um, pretty sure buying new clothing, you know, and doing what he wanted to do, living a single
Mm-hmm.
life, you know. So I just think that the kids suffer and all of that, you know. And as far as Ken goes, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Hey, it could be true that he was in Tricia's DMs, in 2017 when her and Marquise was still married. It's a possibility. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
hey, if she uh, gave any energy to it, that's on her. You know what I'm saying? Maybe at that point she had already checked out the marriage, but Marquise really didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that happens in life, you know. Um, or maybe she was just saying, "Hey, I'm just gonna see what it is," because he keep being in my DMs. Let me see what this is about, And then she was like, "Okay, I think I like him, so let me kind of get away from him a little bit." You know what I'm saying? You never know what it was. I I just look at it like she's deceitful. She doesn't tell the truth. She doesn't stand on business. You know,
Yeah.
there's no way me being a woman somebody's gonna, me being a single woman, I'm gonna be invited over to somebody's house several
Mm.
times. I don't know what time of day or night it was, but saying that, hey, let's say I'm an accountant, and they say, hey, living for my girls, do you think you come over my house, and help me do this accounting? I'm kind of stuck in my bookkeeping. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, now look, if we're not meeting at my office or in a public place, you know,
Mm.
and we're meeting at your house, I'm gonna think that, okay, what's really going on? Now, for
Yeah.
the first time, and I meet the second time, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It ain't no accounting going on the first time or the second time. I'm gonna be like, okay, like this person's like trying to get with me. You know what I'm saying? I would have figured it out the first time when it wasn't no accounting going on. I'd have been like, okay, what the hell is this set up? You know what I'm saying? Where is the exit door? But hey, she knew what she was there for
Yeah.
both times. You know what I'm saying? A grown woman's gonna know what she is there for both times. And
I'm,
right, it's her
I'm telling
business
you,
if she
that's why I
did what
say
she did. But you can't tell
that's why I
me.
say that.
Yeah, you can't tell me you went over somebody's house twice and nothing happened. Why would you go back the second
Exactly.
time? Why would you go back the
Didn't you
second
guys
time?
talk about the divorce finished in the first meeting? What did you guys now discuss in the second meeting?
Exactly.
That's
You
that's
know.
the question.
So yeah,
Are
if
you
she
guys
was,
watching the movie?
hey, if that's her story, I'm gonna let her stick to it.
Yeah, no, that's her story. Let her stick with it. Nobody was there. Nobody can deny or say
Yeah.
that's the lie or
Hey,
true. That's. But
but
I
Ken
just feel
said,
like you are
yeah,
adults. Say it
yeah,
with your chest.
yeah. Ken said, hey, that was before him. So okay, let's leave it at that. You know what I'm saying?
But
I'm not gonna trip with it.
at the end of the day, now there's this developing story that has been going on from Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now that they
Uh-huh.
are filming, I don't know whether it is true. I don't know whether they are trying to fake it. Now that Melody is no longer there, they are trying to everybody. They are trying to see if they can create a storyline that will make people kind of tune in for
Mm-hmm.
the next season because I know of a lot of groups that were mostly for Lower Marriage Huntsville. They've changed their names from Lower Marriage Huntsville. The one group I know that have been at always getting information law might Huntsville, they say they're already
Mhm.
saying that they'll no longer be, since Melody is no longer on the show, they're no longer going to be talking about the show after this last part of the reunion.
Okay.
So I know a lot of people have decided that they're not gonna watch it. So I feel like maybe this is part of them trying to, make everybody interested to come and watch. Now, the word on the street is that allegedly, this is alleged, right? Allegedly,
Okay.
we do not know whether it's true. Allegedly, Ken
Okay.
and Trisha are not in good terms.
What?
Yeah, Ken removed every picture of him and Trish from his social media.
What?
Right, yeah.
Oh
This
wow.
happened earlier this week. He removed everything, every picture about him and Trish on his social media and posted a kind of cryptic post. His last
Mhm.
post is very cryptic. Then she has like one or two pictures of him on her social media, but
Uh-huh.
that's the thing. Like, if it seems like there's trouble in paradise with them, and I
Mm.
think somebody, I can't be sure because I've not watched the video. I just saw it that maybe she's claiming maybe there's kind of violence in the relationship, something like that. This is alleged. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not verified, but it's alleged. For me, I just felt that's the reason why I didn't really put much into it, is because I feel like they're purposely trying to do it to clickbait people to still want to tune in for the show.
Mhm.
That's what I feel. But me, I know for that fact that he has removed everything about Trish from his social media.
Uh,
So that part I know because I checked when I heard about it, I did check his social media and I saw that he has cropped Trish from his social media.
mm.
So I don't know whether it's a storyline thing for
Wow.
next season or whether
Mhm.
truly there's trouble in paradise.
Mm.
But for me, watching Trish during this reunion, I know that that girl can lie. That bitch can lie. Jesus Christ. I have seen some liars, but this one is on another level of lying. Like, she is on another level of lying. I would never want to be friends with her because you would never really know her true emotions.
Shit, you can read her like a book. Come on, her body language, the way she avoids questions. She doesn't
And
give
what
you she
but
doesn't
what
give
I'm
you
saying
eye
is that
contact. You
being
know,
a
and
friend with
then
her will
she
be
goes
problematic
back
because
on
if you try calling her out on the bullshit of her lies, look as if you're trying to, like, I don't know whether you get what I mean.
well, yes, she doubles back on shit and she goes, oh, well, I left that
Mm,
out because, I just didn't want to really mention it, or, that kind of dumb shit. So yeah, I can read her. I told you from the first time she seen Martell, something's going on, from the way he was acting and the way she was acting. You know, it was written all over their face.
mm,
Because they weren't trying to give each other really eye contact. You know, their bodies were like pulled away from each other. She was sitting more
mm.
towards Stormy instead of straight forward. Like, I'll be reading it. So yeah, maybe we'll see what goes on with her and Ken and what the reason was why they had this disagreement. You know, I mean, if they're in love, hopefully, it'll take them somewhere. I don't. I wish them the best.
Yeah,
But I mean,
yeah,
all I can say is once a liar, always a liar.
yeah, I wish them the best too. Well, let's quickly just briefly talk about the um Kiki, what will I call it? The remembrance of Kiki. It was wonderful to see that they did not forget about her. And I already knew that Kiki um what's her name? Stormy paid for the funeral.
That was
For the
beautiful.
what they call that. What thing did she pay for the funeral? I've forgotten. Uh, but we know she did contribute to the funeral. But it was funny to me that then what did the family do? That's the Marcel and Tricia that was claiming family ties, love and family and everything. What did they do?
Mhm.
That was very funny to me, that to know that Stormy did that. Then the family, and during that burial period, it was so hot online. Miss Wanda was out here abusing people, insulting people, you
Oh
know.
wow.
So yeah, and so I want to know, like, the family, well, you know what, it's someone's remembrance, so it's not going to be a moment of blaming anybody and talking down on everybody. But I just want to say I commend Stormy for doing that, and I commend everybody for doing what they did. I think Melody contributed money for something too. Although, Melody is not one person that would always be among people that would say, "Hi, Master, I did this." She would always hide it, but we knew she did something when it happened, when the burial did happen. So,
Hmm.
everybody that's in any shape or form contributed, did anything, there was a good for me in that period, and people contributed, especially for the son's education. So I want to use this opportunity, since this was a remembrance, to say a very big thank you to everybody that
Hmm.
contributed, and loving Kiki, remembering her. And as much as I did not like Carlos doing this reunion, I think this is one of the best things he did by remembering
Hmm.
Kiki. It was rewarded.
Hmm.
And I love that they did not try to pull any bad side of her on the show. They only portrayed her in the good light. And when things was her good, like right now I'm talking about it, it seems like I but it was nice for me to see, and that was what cemented this episode for me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was special. It was touching. You know, I'm glad they didn't show any of the bad stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
in it, excuse me, in it all, Kiki, you know, is an example. And what I mean by that is, there's millions of struggling, recovering
Yeah.
drug addicts. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And the whole thing is what I seen a bunch of regret, of how, even though they were saying the nice things, excuse me, I seen a lot of regret in their faces of how they should have been a better person, been so forgiving instead of pointing the finger, um, and not kicking somebody in the face when they're already kind of down. You know what I'm saying? Instead, reach your arm back and pull them up with you. I don't get it. But what I seen was a bunch of regret, and even though they said the nice things, why weren't those things being said when she was alive?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like she was at every, game that her kids had. She was always there and involved. How come none of that was, nobody was taking up for her when she was alive about her character? You know what I'm saying? Instead it
Yeah.
was always, hey, you did this wrong. We seen this, you're acting weird. We have suspicion that you know what I'm saying? Like, geez, with no real proof, you know. So I felt that it was necessary. It was a beautiful tribute to the life of Kiki. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad they left all the negativity and didn't put it on
Mm-hmm.
camera for us
Yeah.
to see. You know what I'm saying? Because I loved Kiki. You know, she was a cool cousin. Even though she liked to argue, you know. But hey, she her points, some of her points were her feelings, you know. And I enjoyed her time on the show. I did,
Mm. I,
and
I,
I wanted to say one more thing as far as Letitia. I'm glad she said, "Hey, no matter what anybody seen or what everybody thought, that was my cousin, my sister cousin." You know, they grew up there as cousins, but their mothers raised them as sisters. And I understand that because hey, I've done that with my kids, you know, and their cousins. They were raised as sisters, you know. So I mean, I understand that, and I love the way she said that she's not gonna never not show up for Kiki's kids.
yeah.
It can't nobody not make her keep her word. So that right there was a statement all in itself, and I was proud of her when she said that.
No, I see. That's the only part for me in this episode that said, okay, oh, yeah, we have something. We really do have something here. So for that, I appreciate everybody. I appreciate the cast members. I
Mhm.
appreciate I I also appreciate Carlos, and it's funny coming from my mouth saying I appreciate Carlos, but I do appreciate them. So it was nice, and I guess we're gonna have to wait to see next season how it's gonna play out
Oh yeah.
and see how the show is gonna go from here. Are we going to still love the show, or we don't even know whether they are still gonna call off the show? Maybe the show is gonna be uh, ended, or it will become like DC, you know.
Mhm. Oh wow.
Um, we don't know. DC is confusing. What is DC right now? We don't know. We've not heard anything.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
just in the air.
Hmm.
So maybe it's become like DC. We don't know, but let's just see how that is going to play out, because the way people, especially after the grooming stuff, people were coming from for own TV like crazy.
Right. Well,
People were
I
coming
just
for own.
yeah, I just wish them all God's blessings.
Yeah. So you're calling for own, and a lot of people unsubscribed. So I don't know. Let's just see how it's gonna play out. But thank you guys for joining us on the final review for this season on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Make sure you join us. Of course, we're gonna be back for other shows, but we're gonna be here. Thank you very much for joining us. We're gonna see you guys next time. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye.